We mentioned earlier, another week, another hurricane to track, but this one hopefully missing Acadiana to the east. Not that we want to wish it on anybody else. We certainly don't want it to go towards southwest Louisiana, and that is certainly the case. And looking better and better, and confidence growing that we're going to have minimal impacts here in Acadiana with this hurricane, but we are certainly going to see some weather and a strong cold front that's going to follow as well. So let's take a look at the big pattern as we look at the water vapor imagery. Lots of dry air in the Gulf of Mexico. Keep that in mind. Ridge of high pressure that was just south of Louisiana yesterday, pretty much blocking Zeta from moving, now is pushed out into the southwest Atlantic. That's going to continue to move to the east and allow the storm to go around the periphery of the high and ahead of this strong upper level low here to the west. Look at these upper level winds, strong southwesterly winds. So when the hurricane gets up to about this latitude, about maybe 25 degrees north, it's going to be under the influence of those strong upper level southwesterlies, and that's going to probably limit the intensity of this storm and maybe even begin to diminish it. And at the same time, Zeta is going to be moving over cooler waters of the Gulf of Mexico. But nonetheless, we got a plan for a hurricane to strike southeast Louisiana come Wednesday evening or Wednesday night. Here's the big picture, and back to the west, that same upper low producing winter weather from New Mexico into the Texas Panhandle. So we're going to see snow at this time tomorrow night, roughly about 700-800 miles west of us, and then 700-800 miles south of us will be a hurricane. So 2020 indeed. So here's the big picture as we look at the satellite imagery. The storm going through a pretty strong development stage earlier today, thus upgraded to a hurricane. Not seeing that right now, but some very cold cloud tops here and kind of a lopsided looking hurricane at this point. But it's just about getting on land. It's just about over Cozumel at this point, just south of Cancun. Is going to go across the Yucatan overnight tonight. 80-mile-per-hour wind should weaken down to a 70-mile-per-hour storm, maybe a little less by tomorrow morning, then back out into the Gulf of Mexico with some intensification possible before the storm encounters those upper-level southwesterly winds and the cooler water temperatures as well. Still forecast to make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane over southeast Louisiana, near or just east of Grand Isle. Looks like the core of the storm may miss downtown NOLA by just a little bit, but there are hurricane watches there. Back to the west, it's just tropical storm watches. This is kind of a just in case for Vermilion, Iberia, St. Mary, Lower St. Martin Parish. Don't think this will go to a warning tomorrow, but we'll see. Hurricane watch, though, tomorrow for southeast Louisiana will probably go to a hurricane warning maybe by 10 a.m., if not by 4 p.m. tomorrow. And a lot of these tropical storm watches will go to tropical storm warnings that are off farther to the east. And notice NOLA in that hurricane watch area as well. As for storm surge, we're talking about that again. Water coming up a little bit, 2 to 4 feet. Remember, a hurricane brings a big mound of water with it. And even though we're going to have northeast winds and offshore winds, their water's still going to come up 2 to 3, maybe 2 to 4 feet down towards Ciparoa Point, down through Atchafalaya, Timbaleer Bay. 4 to 6 from Port Fourchon on eastward to the Alabama-Mississippi border. So this is where we're going to see inundations, perhaps across Highway 1 per usual over extreme southeast Louisiana. But this is going to be a fast-moving system. The water comes up, then the water goes down because we're going to have breezy northwest and west winds coming in. So here's the GFS model. This one's been performing the best and seems to be pretty close to what we're thinking Hurricane Center-wise. Maybe it's a little bit to the west. The latest Euros come in very close to this as well. And the storm doing most of its damage well east of Acadiana from extreme eastern Louisiana into Mississippi and Alabama. Same areas that got pounded with Hurricane Sally nearly a month ago. So here's our good model, our graph model that's done an excellent job, led the way today on the forecast track. So tomorrow, partly sunny early, then clouding up, some tropical showers coming in for the afternoon, evening. Rain chance 40-60%. It's not going to be anything too terribly bad. Then as we head into tomorrow evening, more tropical showers, a break as we head into Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday afternoon, we'll be watching a frontal boundary moving in, a hurricane moving in from the south, and that front will also help to pick up our hurricane. And again, this one has the center just near the Grand Isle area or off to the east, and then moving through Mississippi and Alabama as well. Then breezy northwest winds clearing skies and temperatures in the upper 40s here for Thursday morning. So here's the forecast winds based on the graph model. We didn't show this earlier, but I did show it on the Facebook Live. Again, the graph model sometimes a little too strong on the winds, but you can see tropical storm force winds. I don't think we'll see 100-mile-an-hour gusts, but 70 to 80 possible southeast Louisiana into Mississippi, perhaps into to coastal Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. But again, I don't think we're going to see too many 100-mile-an-hour gusts with this storm, and then a west-northwest wind to follow. And again, the RPM model, this one just coming in, so I didn't get my pause points right, but you can see where it has the storm coming in, southeast Louisiana, and then still showing those 60, 70-mile-an-hour gusts as we go across southeast Louisiana and into coastal Mississippi and Alabama as well. As for rainfall, here we go with the graph model indicating maybe an inch or two of rain here locally, not much. You can see where that hurricane goes. Anywhere between 4 to 6 inches of rain will be possible along and near the center of the storm, and the RPM model showing fairly similar amounts of rainfall, but not concerned with flooding here, so that is the good news overall. So let's get into the forecast as we move on. We'll see temperatures in the mid-60s tomorrow morning, low to mid-80s tomorrow afternoon, keeping an eye on Zeta. And as we go down the road, we'll see those rain chances ramping up. Wow, that 60% should be there on Tuesday. I missed that as well. Lots of stuff to cover, but 60% tomorrow, 80% as we head into Wednesday, and then cool and dry for a while thereafter. Feeling like fall out there, and that is the great news after this one.
It really is. Thank you, Rob.